I'm ready to go all in on the Green Bay Packers for this upcoming season, and I believe that they're one of the most underrated teams in the NFL that nobody is talking about. Now, in the NFC, and in specific in the NFC North, this is a bloodbath of a division. It's a bloodbath of a conference, and for a team that went 11-6 last year, they really got no love, and that's because they lost in the first round to the eventual Super Bowl champions in the Philadelphia Eagles. Jordan Love struggled, throwing for 3 interceptions, and this team faced a first-round exit, and now it's back to the drawing board. And I think for this Packers team, I think they are going to have a monster season for a few different reasons this upcoming year. We know that they just cut Jair Alexander. How is this defense going to look? But I think the success for the Green Bay Packers is predicated on what Jordan Love can do for this team. He is the guy that has the big-time contract now. He's one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in the NFL. He was the successor to Aaron Rodgers. It is now his time to step up and shine. And I gave Jordan Love the excuse last year that, yes, I think this receiving core could use a little bit more, and they addressed that, and we'll get to that. But for Jordan Love, I wanted them to get him a number 1 true wide receiver. Josh Jacobs was awesome in the backfield with him, but they had a lot of number 2 wide receivers trying to step up and be a true number 1. And even Josh Jacobs talked about that, and he caught some flack from his teammates, but he was like, hey, we need a true number 1 wide receiver for Jordan Love. And that's what the Packers did this offseason. One of the reasons why I'm so fired up, first of all, they drafted Matthew Golden out of Texas. The first time they drafted a wide receiver since 2002 in the first round. This is huge for this receiving core. They got Jayden Reed back. They had some big time injuries in this receiving core last year, but I'm really fired up for Jayden Reed. I think this is a guy that's going to have a monster season this upcoming year. You throw in Matthew Golden, you're going to get Christian Watson back. You got Wicks, you got Romeo Dobbs. You have guys that can make plays, and I'm excited for this Packers receiving core, and I'm excited for this offense to put it all together. But let's start with Jordan Love here, because this is the man that needs to step up if the Packers are going to take this next step. And I'm backing him. I'm writing checks right now that I believe he's going to cash. I think Jordan Love is a dark horse MVP candidate. I think this Packers team is a dark horse Super Bowl candidate, but Jordan Love has to be the guy that gets this team over the hump. He threw for 3 interceptions in the playoffs last year. That's not going to get it done. There was a stretch for Jordan Love in his first season where he was lighting the world on fire. In that second half of the year, he got this Packers team into the postseason. They won a bunch of games. They scorched the Dallas Cowboys in the first round. They went on to play the San Francisco 49ers, who would go on to make the Super Bowl. He nearly beat them as well. Jordan Love was playing an MVP caliber level of football at one point in his first ever season starting. Now, a lot of people are quick to forget this dude has only started 2 full years in the NFL, and he had an MVP caliber run in that first ever year starting. Last year was a little bit of a setback. He dealt with some injuries. There were a lot of injuries on this team as a whole, but Jordan Love has to be better. 3 interceptions in the playoffs is not going to get it done, and he knows that. Everybody knows that. But now there's no more excuses with this receiving core. How do they take another step? I think another piece that's going to really help out this offense is Josh Jacobs, a guy that quietly had a monster season last year, rushed for over 1,300 yards. He had 15 rushing touchdowns as well. Josh Jacobs was awesome for this offense, and if they're able to put it all together with him, with this receiving core, with Jordan Love, I'm absolutely of the mindset that they can take another huge step. Now, what does this defense look like for this upcoming season? Because that's where the massive question mark is going to be. They just lost Jair Alexander, one of the best corners in football, and this defense is definitely a question mark, but I think they were really an underrated group last year. They were 6th in the NFL in yards per game. They were 6th in points per game. This defense stepped up when it mattered the most, and I look back to that playoff game where Jordan Love struggled, and I mentioned it a few times now in this video. This defense stepped up in a big-time way and really gave this Packers team multiple opportunities to come back and try and win it. They weren't able to do so, but I'm not as worried about this Packers defense as a lot of people are. I think they are sneaky underrated, and I'm ready for this team to put it all together offensively. And as I keep talking about, it starts with Jordan Love. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, but like I keep saying, this team won 11 games last year. They were a really good football team, and because they lost in the first round, nobody's going to talk about them, but they've got a tough hill to climb. They've got to go through the toughest division in football. You look at this Lions Rams team. They won 15 games last year. The Vikings won 14 games. Now you have the Chicago Bears who are going to turn things around with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. This is a really tough division where I believe all of these teams can realistically make the postseason, and the Packers are right in the thick of it. This is a tough NFC conference as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how things shake out, but this is a team that I'm buying stock in right now. I'm buying all the Jordan Love stock that I can. I'm buying all the Green Bay Packers stock that I can. Matt LaFleur has been one of the better head coaches in the NFL since his tenure started. This Green Bay team has made the postseason in back-to-back years. This is a very winning team with Jordan Love, and I'm not ready to hit the panic button. Do not sleep on this Packers team as we approach this offseason, because they are absolutely a squad that can make a deep run in the playoffs. I'm Caden Kubler, and thank you guys for watching.